Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today I thought that I would do a little something kind of like a challenge or things that when I share these things, when I'm doing these things like on Instagram, I'll say, take 5 minutes and do this right now. People will say, oh my gosh, I just did that after seeing your post or your story, and that has just relieved some stress or just kind of cleared out things that they needed to do. And so I thought I'd share some of those ideas that I like to do often because I am somebody that too much chaos, clutter, that it just, I just thrive better when things are more organized, and it's just like I am a person that likes a schedule and a routine and, like everything in its place. And so I could talk about organization like of your home all day long, but these are some things that maybe you don't think about. And I thought I'd share maybe this week, take 15 minutes a day and do one of these things. I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 things here. So let's call this like five things you should do right now or this week that will just help you get a little more organized, relieve some of the chaos. And we all think, or you don't think about like the mental capacity that it takes up when there's a lot of stuff, or you just have to go through a lot of things to get something done, if that makes sense. And that'll make more sense here. But it does. It takes up. There is literally like a weight lifted when you do these kinds of things. And so it's a new year and I just did these things, and I'm continuing to do these things because some of these things you have to continue to do. But the more you do them, the less you have to do it, which will make sense here, like I said. But let's just get to it. So here are 5 things that you should do this week. Take 15 minutes. Each of these should take, not that long. But let's just go. Number 1, grab your phone and clean out any photos and videos that you do not need or that you're not using. If you are not using anymore. So, especially for what I do, I am constantly recording videos, recording, small little clips, taking photos. Like that is what I do on my phone. And so I have a ton of stuff that I always have to go through. Well, and then if I have personal, like the kids or the dog or whatever that I want to maybe, I know this is weird, but print off, send into Shutterfly and get them actually like hard copies of the photos, because I don't like them just housed in my phone. So I do have, boxes and we do have like photo albums and things, not as many as we used to when the kids were little. But I do have those things for like hard copies for photos, because my phone gets so bogged down with all the things with my work and personal. And so I just like to clean it out. And so take 15 minutes. This is something that I'll do. I like to do it. I really would like to do it once a week this year. But every time I share, this is one of them that I always get a response from. Oh my gosh, I just sat down and did that. And 15 minutes, just take 15 minutes and set a timer. Because I know sometimes I'm thinking, okay, I have 10 minutes here. I'm going to do it quick. And then it's like a half an hour later and I'm still doing it. But just set a timer for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And then when that, timer goes off, then you're done. Just see how much you can get done in that time frame or whatever time frame you have. We all have those photos that were accidentally taken, or, something that like a screenshot is something that you're never going to use, or you see a recipe and you screenshot it, or, those kinds of things that, 3 months later, you still haven't made the recipe. Well, get rid of it. It's time to get rid of it, right? In the moment, it was great. You had all the, the goal was to make that recipe and to do that thing, but it never got done. So it's time to get rid of it. So just take 15 minutes and clean out your photos and your videos on your phone. It's so nice, especially if you are somebody that creates content, to be able to go to your phone and actually, upload a reel or a story or something on your Instagram and not have to go through 9,000 photos. But even for somebody that's not a content creator, like I'm thinking about my mom, sometimes she'll be, she'll say, oh, I've got this photo. And then she's scrolling through, and a lot of her photos are not, they're like, I don't even know, like they're just random. She doesn't really know how to use her phone very well. But so she's going through all these random photos that are nothing just to try to find the one. And then by then she just gives up. She's like, oh, I know it's in here, but we just kind of give up. So take time to do that. 15 minutes, set a timer. The next thing to do is clean out your emails. So this is one of those things that I want to be more diligent about doing every single day I open my email. So we have all signed up for different emails. Maybe it was a coupon code to your favorite stores. If you sign up for this email, you'll get a 10% discount, especially around the holidays. Or, you get 30% off if you sign up for emails. And so now you're getting a ton of emails from that place. If it's something you don't want to receive an email from, unsubscribe and keep doing it. So this is one thing, again, where you can set a timer. I just told Matt the other day, we kind of took a break. He took kind of some extended vacation over Christmas, so we kind of had a longer stay at home. And so then when we were going back to work and like actually kind of in the schedule and a routine, I was coming down to my office. I'm like, I just want to open this email and just have nothing in it, like it just be blank. And so I'm like, I am going to do that. If it's an email that I need to get back to, I will get back to it right away. If it's not an email, it's an email I need to keep, but yet it doesn't need to be in my inbox, store it away in a different folder. But then for all of those stores or whatever it is that I signed up for or that I'm getting, I need to, instead of just deleting, I need to actually hit the unsubscribe way down at the bottom, find the unsubscribe button, hit that, and then make sure that I'm unsubscribing. And I need to continually do that. So that's something I'm going to be doing in the new year. But again, take 15 minutes, clean out your email, clean out your inbox. That it's just a constant reminder of either what you have to do, things you have to get back to, or maybe it's just, there's so many in there that it's just clutter. It's not anything you need to keep. So get rid of them. Okay. On that same kind of wavelength or whatever, go through your social media. We all know that we spend way too much time scrolling, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. Unfollow those accounts that you don't love. Unfollow those accounts that don't bring you joy. They're not entertaining you. They're not making you laugh. They're not teaching you something. They're not, inspiring you to create something, whatever it is that made you follow that person in the beginning. If it's, I always say the best thing about social media, I mean, there's so much good and there's so much bad, right? But we all have that unfollow button. And if I ever find myself thinking like, anything like my house isn't good enough, this isn't big enough, I need more of this, I'm not, like it's just that this constant reminder that when I watch this account, you feel less than, or you feel like you need more of something, or you need, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't leave you feeling good. There are definitely those accounts that are just like I follow just because they make me laugh every time I open them. And it's just kind of like it's an account that I go to and just kind of zone out for a second just to see what they're posting or what they're creating. But there are definitely those accounts that just they're not great. And then there's always that unfollow button. So again, take 15 minutes this week to just kind of go through who you're following and just unfollow those that just you don't love anymore or just aren't bringing you anything. And then kind of like the email list, because you can just go to who you're following, obviously, but sometimes different accounts will pop up and it's like, wait a minute. Yeah, this one I just don't love anymore. Just continually unfollow those that are just not bringing you what you maybe signed up for in the beginning. Okay. Another thing to look into are your subscriptions. So this is something, I mean, not only like the whole organization thing and like runs hand in hand to budgeting for me. You can save so much money by being organized. And so subscriptions is a huge thing because we all are subscribed to something. Amazon Prime, Netflix, I mean, there's so many of those now, like Peacock and like all of these different things that you can subscribe to. Maybe it's a workout platform that you've subscribed to and you never use, or whatever it is. I think like even Walmart now has like a subscription something, but there's subscriptions everywhere. And if you can go through and figure out what you're paying for or subscribe to, but you're not using, cancel those subscriptions. You'd be amazed at how much money you'll save on stuff that you're not even using, but you are subscribing to and paying monthly, or maybe you paid for, like a year in advance. Like it's even in, this is what I did in 2022 last year, in my business. So every time that, a renewal came up, if it was a monthly thing or a yearly thing, I would get with the team and I would say, okay, now really, are we really using this? Are we utilizing it to its full capacity? If we're not, I don't want to pay for it. Like there's just no reason. And I saved so much money last year, just getting rid of those subscriptions and those things that we weren't using at all. And it wasn't benefiting the business. So that's just something that we don't think about. But it's definitely can save you a ton of money. So again, take 15 minutes, take a half an hour this weekend, whatever it is, and just go through, your bank statements. Maybe you pay through PayPal. Maybe, you have some other form of payment that just go through and see what you're actually paying. And there is, I hate to say on your cell phone, there is a place on an iPhone. I don't know like the Android users and stuff, but there are things on your phone where you can figure out what subscriptions you're paying for on your phone, because there are apps you're paying for, that you maybe signed up for a long time ago. There was actually one that Gabrielle and I were going to try, and I don't even know how it was. It must have been, I thought it was free, but it must have been free for a certain amount of time. And then I'm like, wait a minute, why am I getting charged this? So definitely look into those too. It's not just, your Amazon Prime, your Walmart, and those kinds of things. It's like, it's apps on your phone too that you might be paying for and not using. Okay. Another thing that I think would be good, I'm so sorry. My kids are home and the dog is barking. So I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Here's one more that I'm going to, just kind of push you with it. This is the last one I'll leave you with, but it's something that is definitely worth taking some time to do. And this might take a half an hour, maybe 20 minutes. And if you're married or have a partner and you do joint like bills or whatever, it might be something where you sit down together, but write down your monthly bills. What is going out every single month? Again, so now like these subscriptions, if there are certain things that you are paying for monthly, Netflix, those kinds of things, if it's Amazon Prime, it's such and such for the year. So what is that monthly? You could even break it down to that. But sit down and actually figure out what is going out monthly. So a lot of people, I am not one of them. I'm still the weirdo that is still old school, and I still like to write out a manual check and send in our bills just because it's just like a thing for me. I just like that process. I can see it physically actually going out, and I know I need to get with the times. Even my mom has stuff coming out automatically for like their bills and stuff, and I'm not there yet. But a lot of people have, stuff is just taken out. So like the electricity bill and the water bill, whatever it is just automatically taken out of your account. And I think we sometimes lose the, when you're not seeing it physically. And if you're somebody that's inside your, bank account, like online every day or every week or whatever, that's totally different. But sometimes I feel, some people, you just kind of lose sight of what is going out. So it's a good idea just at the beginning of every year. Matt and I like to sit down and we like to kind of I'm not into New Year's resolutions or anything like that, but I do like to sit down and say, write down some goals and some things that we could do a little differently or better or whatever it is. So just sit down. It's the beginning of the year and just try to figure out what is going out every month, because it's important to know that. It just, like I said, budget and organization are just two things that go hand in hand. The more organized you are, the more knowledge you have of what's coming in and out, the better, right? It's just better. So, So yeah, that's it. I'm going to stop there. There were only 5 that I thought of this. I have been doing this, and I thought I'm going to get on and maybe encourage you guys to try one of these, try all of these this week, and just see. I would love to hear from you if you did it, if you thought, if it took longer, if you're like, oh my gosh, I still have 9,000 photos to go through on my phone, or oh my gosh, I just saved $150 a month on getting rid of subscriptions that I'm not using. That would like make my day. I would love, love, love to hear it. Or if you're like, oh my gosh, we're spending $300 more than I actually thought every month. When we sat down and we were talking about what goes out, now I really, I had no idea. And so like those kinds of things I would love to hear, because it just, that's why I do these things. That's why I share these things, because they are eye-opening. It is a good way to get you organized in a different way than just like organizing your closets, if that makes sense. And these are good things to do to start off the year, and then maybe, make them kind of like a habit. Maybe the budgeting one you do every 6 months and just kind of regroup and see what's going on. But like cleaning out your emails, that's once, a week you keep doing it, or every day you open your emails if there's something in there you unsubscribe to. Cleaning out your social media when you're on there scrolling, your photos and your videos. Maybe you do that once a week so it doesn't get so much at one time, and it adds up so quickly. So okay, I hope this was helpful. Again, I always love to hear from you. If there's something that was helpful, I'd love to hear from you. If there's something you would like me to go over here on the podcast, I'd love to hear that as well. You can always email me, Lindsay@mycreativedays.com. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.